Hi, welcome to our channel of Ignouaudiobooks. Indira Gandhi National Open University, School of Continuing Education, Certificate Programs, Certificate in Food and Nutrition, CFN, CFN-1 and your food block 3 process of food selection and preparation Unit-14 selection, preparation, and nutritive value of pulses, nuts and oilseeds. Pulses are very rich sources of several nutrients, particularly proteins. Since a number of pulses are available and they can be prepared in a variety of ways, it is easy to incorporate these foods in our diet. For vegetarians, pulses serve as the major source of protein. Nuts and oilseeds are also important because of their good nutritional value. However, the consumption of these foods is less because of their high cost. 14.0 Objectives. After studying this unit, you will be able to identify the different types of pulses, nuts and oilseeds. Buy good quality pulses, nuts and oilseeds. Describe various ways in which these foods may be included in our daily diet, and describe the contribution of these foods in our diet. 14.1 Introduction. Pulses are an essential constituent of the Indian diet. All of us include some form of pulse in our diet. Rajma, chana, besan, moong, arhar are all examples of frequently eaten pulses. Besides being good sources of proteins, they are also rich in minerals and vitamins. Nuts and oilseeds are also very nutritious. We may not be eating them in very large amounts due to the high cost of these food items. However, groundnuts are commonly consumed and provide certain nutrients to our body. 14.2 Pulses. Pulses are a very important part of our daily diet. Pulses are known as dals in common man's language. You have already read in Unit 5 that pulses are a good source of protein. Since most animal foods which are rich in protein are also expensive, pulses help in fulfilling our protein needs to a very large extent. A large percentage of our population generally eats vegetarian food and pulses are the main source of protein in their diet. As you already know, we can improve the quality of protein by eating a combination of pulses and cereals, e.g., khichdi, dosa, idli. Since there are many different types of pulses available in the market, it is relatively easy to include these in our daily diet. 14th February 2001, Nutritive value of pulses. Pulses are called the poor man's meat, because they are very rich in protein. The amount of protein present in pulses is nearly double of that present in cereals. For example, whole Bengal gram dal contains 17% protein, which is nearly double of that present in grow-milled rice, i.e. 6.8%. Soya beans, particularly, have a very high protein content, 43%. Pulses also contain fair amounts of thiamine, niacin, calcium and iron. Generally dry pulses contain very little vitamin C, but on sprouting them vitamin C is produced. During fermentation the thiamine, riboflavin and niacin content increases. Another advantage is that certain pulses like soya bean, which are not easily digested, are well tolerated after sprouting or fermentation. When a whole dal is sprouted, the outer coat breaks open and the grain becomes soft so as to reduce cooking time. Eat sprouted pulses. They are more nutritious. Pulses have a good keeping quality and do not spoil easily. They are very popular because they are easy to cook, provide a variety of dishes and are easy to digest. Certain pulses like soya bean have substances present in them which prevent digestion of proteins if consumed raw. It is important to cook these pulses since these substances are generally destroyed on cooking. 14th February 2002, Types of pulses. Pulses may be whole or dehusked. Whole pulses like rajma, chana, lobia, moong, etc. take longer to cook since they have a tough outer covering. Dehusked pulses like moong, masoor, etc. are easier to cook and digest since the outer covering has been removed. However, whole pulses are more nutritious than dals, since the outer covering is a good source of vitamins of the B complex group as well as fiber. Whole pulses can be sprouted while dehusked dals cannot be. 14th February 2003, Selection of pulses. A wide variety of pulses are available in the market. Depending on your likes and dislikes, as well as the money available, you may include different dals in your diet. While purchasing pulses, make sure that the dal is clean, does not have any gravel or twigs and is not infested with insects. The pulse should be dry, otherwise fungus may grow on it. Generally, pulses bought in packets from standard shops like super bazaars are clean and of good quality. In such cases, the shopkeeper cannot cheat you in terms of weight of the food since the pulses are weighed and packed earlier. 14th February 2004, Preparation and uses of pulses. Pulses may be cooked in a variety of ways. Different food preparations made from these may be included in our daily meals, providing variety and change. Whole pulses being harder require some pre-soaking, while washed dals do not. Some of the most commonly used dal preparations are times liquid preparations, like sambar, moong dal. Whole pulses like rajma, chana, etc., which may be made into a variety of curries using other ingredients like fat, vegetables. Times Bengal gram dal, chana dal, may be ground into a flour called besan and included in our diet. You must have it in pakoras, besan ladus, burfi, etc. Sometimes, we may add besan to wheat flour to make rotis and paranthas. Many snacks like sev, chirwa have besan as the main ingredient. Besan may be used as a binding agent in cutlets, koftas. Kathi, a popular North Indian curry, is prepared with besan and curd. Times we can grind soaked dals and use them in preparations of fermented foods like idli, dosa, dokla. The dal is left overnight to ferment. These foods are light and easy to digest. Times after adding masalas to the wet ground dals, they may be shaped into vadas, donuts and fried. Times pulses can be combined with cereals to form many tasty foods. You can add pulses to atta and rice to make khichdi, dal stuffed rotis, puris, etc. As you have read earlier, the combination of cereals and pulses is more nutritious. The protein quality of these foods is greatly improved. The proteins of pulses are of low quality since they are deficient in amino acid methionine. However, they are rich in amino acid lysine. Pulses can supplement protein of cereals which are different in lysine, and the quality of protein can be improved. This process is called mutual supplementation. Times soups can be made from well-cooked dals, e.g., rasam, a South Indian dish. Times dals can also be cooked to a soft consistency, mashed well or ground and cooked with jaggery to prepare purnapolis. Times like cereals, dals may also be parched to make delicious snacks like roasted chanas. Times soya beans may be used to prepare soya milk. Soya beans are soaked overnight and then ground. The mixture is strained through muslin cloth and boiled. This milk is very nutritious and good for children, particularly those children who are allergic to cow's milk. Times other soya bean preparations like nuggets are tasty as well as easy to include in our meals. Times sprouted pulses may be made into a variety of delicious dishes. On sprouting, not only the nutrient content increases, but the pulses are easier to cook and prepare. These sprouted pulses are also easier to digest. Sprouted pulses may be steamed and eaten as such or in combination with other foods as paranthas, cutlets, rolls and so on. Pulses may be sprouted by tying the soaked pulses in a moist muslin cloth and keeping them covered with a pan to control the temperature. It generally takes 12-15 hours for sprouts to grow, but the time varies according to the dal. If kept for a longer time, they develop an unpleasant odor. It is necessary for people consuming less amounts of milk or animal foods to include more pulses in the diet. It is, however, not possible to eat very large quantities of dal with our meals. The consumption of these pulses may be increased by mixing them with flour in chapati or cooking them with rice as khichdi or preparing snacks containing dals and besan. 14.3 Nuts and oilseeds. You must have eaten different types of nuts like cashew nuts, almonds, walnut, groundnut, tilseed, pista, mustard and khaskhas. These are mostly foods we eat in very small quantities. Ground nuts are eaten more often. All seeds are rich in fat and may be used to extract oil. Groundnut, till and coconut are the main oilseeds used. 14th March 2001, Nutritive value of nuts and oilseeds. Nuts and oilseeds are good sources of protein. However, the protein quality may be improved by combining foods like groundnut with besan, till, milk powder or milk. We have just learned that these foods are good sources of fat. They are also good sources of beta-carotene, the precursor of vitamin A. Niacin, also called nicotinic acid, is also present in nuts. Nuts and oilseeds are also good sources of minerals like iron and calcium. Till is a very rich source of calcium. 14th March 2002, Selection of nuts and oilseeds. Nuts, as we have mentioned, are expensive foods. We cannot afford to consume them in very large quantities. Among the cheaper foods in this group are groundnuts, which compare favorably in their nutrient content with the more expensive nuts like almonds. While purchasing nuts and oilseeds, it is important to see that they are not spoiled. Any change in smell or taste will mean that these are stale. The appearance of the nuts is also important. Shriveled nuts are to be avoided. The presence of insects is an indication of poor quality. 14th March 2003, Uses of nuts and oilseeds. You already know that groundnut, till, and coconut are most commonly used to extract oil for cooking purposes. The use of oil as compared to ghee is encouraged since it reduces the risk of heart disease. Some other uses of these foods are listed below. Times nuts may be roasted or fried and eaten as such. These make very tasty snacks. A thin coating of besan or jaggery adds to the flavor of these nuts. Times addition of nuts like peanuts, groundnuts, to various snacks not only increases the nutritional value but also gives a nice flavor to the foods. Dishes like cutlets, ladus, burfi, pakoras, become more tasty on the addition of these roasted nuts. Times groundnuts may be roasted and ground to form a paste. This paste is used in sandwiches, buns. It may be used instead of fat in preparing sscprep. Times groundnut flour may be added to flour to make namkins, rotis, biscuits. Times groundnuts like soya bean may be used to prepare groundnut milk, which is good for children who are allergic to cow's milk. Times coconut milk is prepared by grinding grated coconut in water and filtering to obtain a clear liquid. This is ideal for very small children and infants. Times till seeds may be roasted and added to snacks, biscuits, cakes to enhance flavor. They can also be roasted and mixed with jaggery syrup to make ladus. You will really enjoy eating these delicious foods. Times khaskhas seeds are also used in many ways in our diet. Besides sherbets, khaskhas is used in the preparation of different Indian sweets. Similarly, other nuts and oilseeds may be included in our daily diet to provide not only good nutrition but variety and taste. 14.4. Let us some UP. Pulses are a very important part of our diet. They provide protein, iron and certain vitamins. Since a number of pulses are available and they can be cooked in several different ways, it is easy to consume sufficient amounts of these foods in our diet. Nuts and oilseeds are also important because of their rich nutrient content. They are relatively expensive and therefore difficult to include in the diet. However, a variety of ways are suggested to include these in our diet. 14.5. Glossary. Allergy, a state of hypersensitivity to certain foods and other things. Extract, take out from. Infestation, to be overrun by insects as happens in spoilage of pulses. Split pulse, whole pulse which is split from center. Dehusked pulse, pulse from which husk has been removed. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the next video with the next chapter.